So for the last 5 years of my life, I have been the one behind the camera. And so for this final time and this last leadership lesson of the year, Dr. Wheat and I are going to talk about my journey through Allen J. Preparatory Academy. And man, it's been a journey. I didn't know what to expect really when I was asked to come here, but I've learned so much. So I want you to go along with me on a journey over the last 5 years as I went from the guy behind the camera to the guy now in front of the camera. So if you will, come along with me. So Dr. Wheat, you know, we've been on this journey for about 5 years. I was thinking back about 6 years ago, you approached me about coming to Allen J, and I had just previously started my school year, and I was like, not this year. I don't think that's going to work. So let's talk later in the year. And you reached out to me again that summer. I actually was, trying to leave education. I was going to go work full time at the Y, and that didn't pan out. And then I called you up, and I was like, "Hey, can we talk?" And you asked me to come over here, and so I remember coming over, and we talked a little bit. You showed me around. I remember standing in the rock gym where rally happens and all the exciting leadership lessons occur. And I think in that moment, I was like, I think I'm going to go and work at Allen J. Prep.
Yeah, man. Well, I think it was a good decision.
Yeah.
So I remember that time, 5 years, wow, even 6 years ago when we met. So the reason that I initially approached Mr. Myers is because he and I were serving together at a church. And so we were doing things like getting up about 5 o'clock on a Sunday morning and going to a high school and setting up the stage and the audio, video, and all the chairs. And I remember like his work ethic and his dedication to service, which is always what I look for, and somebody to come and join us at Allen J. Prep. So that's why I initially approached you. I know you were committed at an elementary school during that time, and certainly respect that decision, but I thought our paths crossed at just the right time, and man, since then, time's really flown.
It really
I think
has.
about 5
Yeah.
years of working together and shooting videos and teaching lessons and planning activities. It's been a good ride.
Yeah, it has. And going back to what you said about serving, that's so important. I mean, I think service leadership is probably one of the most important types of leadership because, anyone can serve, right? It doesn't take any kind of special quality about anyone to be able to serve other people. And so you saw that in me and saw that work ethic. And so those two things are very important. But thinking back to my first year here, man, so hard. And many of you scholars, you may have experienced hardship when you first come because it's such a different environment. You have those cheers, you have those chants, you have people standing on the table, you have people doing these creative things, and honestly, I didn't feel like I measured up. I was frustrated. I believe I even sat in Mr. Hagee's office and cried one day. I think some scholars probably feel the same way, especially on the first day, because it is so overwhelming and it's such a great place to be, and it's so different than any other experience that scholars have. But I was frustrated. But also I learned in that, or through the process, that it's important to stick with something, that it's not going to happen overnight, and maybe I never even reached the potential that I could have, but I did find like a niche along the way. And
that niche has been so incredibly important because it was something that was needed badly at Allen J. Prep. You're talking about that struggle and maybe feeling initially like it was challenging or it was difficult. I tell kids all the time, there's no fun in easy. When you're struggling and you're working hard at something, that's where the growth is.
Right.
And so if you're just kind of cruising along and you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room, And I tell myself that all the time. It's I need to be around really smart people that are going to challenge me. Because if I'm the smartest guy in any room, I am in the wrong room. So I enjoy the hard work and the struggle. But as you struggle, you find that niche and you find that groove, and things begin to click. And I think things have certainly been clicking. It doesn't mean every day your job's a breeze, because you still work with kids and serve families, and there's a lot of challenge in that. But once you push through that struggle and you find that groove, man, that's where you start to really experience success. So I think that lines up very well with what you're saying.
All right, so I've had a lot of memories here at Allen J. Most of them came in the form of some sort of video, that maybe Mr. Hammond, Mr. Nissen, Mr. Van Newkirk, and I did. One of the greatest ones ever saw that we did was, it just so happens we were shooting a video for a science family night, and we were going to have Dr. Week be hit with the ball in the chest, and instead, this is what happened.
What are you guys doing? Is this what you do during your planning time?
Absolutely. Man, did you see that last shot?
I know, it was so close. It went right past you. He was like, Matrix.
It was so awesome.
It's cool.
Oh, hey guys.
Hey.
Welcome. Hey, if you want to come and have a great time with this kind of thing and more, come to Family Science Night this coming Tuesday from 6 to 7:30. Science experiments all throughout the school, and we got free pizza and drink for you and your family.
It's going to be awesome.
Another incredible one we came up with was last year, right when COVID hit. I had this mind-blowing idea. Hey, you know what? Let's keep the kids engaged with science, and let's create this weekly show called Scientific Minds Unite. You may be familiar with it. And the first ever episode, Mr. Botti, Mr. Hammond, and I, we were here at school. This is before we knew anything about masks or any of that stuff. And we were like coming up with ideas, and I was like, you know, why don't we try launching water balloons at different things, see if we can get them to talk about forces of motion. Well, I tried to be the test dummy, if you will, and this is what happened.
Let's take a look right here. There he is. He is definitely in pain, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely in pain.
Not the wisest thing to do, guys.
All right, do not try this at home, ladies and gentlemen, although it was fun for us.
There are other things that occurred here while I was actually doing my normal teaching job. I got super bored teaching plants in 6th grade, and I was like, you know what is a plant? Coffee is a plant. And so I love coffee, so that's how my whole idea of a coffee shop classroom came about, was because I was bored as a teacher, my kids were bored, and so I did an entire unit on coffee. Kids drank coffee every day, and so here are some pictures from that. Other fun experiences at Allen J of teaching. making s'mores, or things like tie-dye shirts, rock your school days, going off campus, traveling to Chapel Hill, Washington, D.C., Charlotte, Charleston. All those things were amazing experiences, things that not the typical educator gets to do. So I am forever grateful for all those opportunities that I've gotten to do. One of the things that I am most thankful for is getting to learn from great educators. And at my time at Allen Jay, I met some of the greatest educators in the history of education, in my opinion. And some of their pictures are going to pop up, and I want them to know that I have learned more from you than you'll ever know. No, I can't stand on a table or come up with a song like Miss Parker. I can't be over the top and super energetic like Mr. Hammond or Mr. Van Newkirk. I can't give the passion and the hard work that maybe Mr. Nissen gives. Or I can't come to life in the classroom like Mr. Holland. But I have learned tremendously from those people, especially. But also, there are so many more educators here at Allen Jay that have came and left or are still here that are amazing. So consider yourself lucky as a student, a scholar here at Allen Jay, that you're getting to learn from some of the best around. So there's quite a few leadership lessons that really stand out to me over the course of time, and there's going to be some images that come up as I'm talking. So this first image here is about an elephant. And if you aren't familiar with this story, when an elephant is very young, they put a peg in the ground and they train the elephant not to move. And so when it becomes ginormous as an adult, they still think that they are contained to that small area and they can't pull that peg out of the ground. So don't be like an elephant. Go outside of your comfort zone and do things. There's also this thing called the 2% mindset, and that is staying inside your comfort zone. And yes, I'm very much a person who likes to stay inside my comfort zone, and you may know that just the very thing of me stepping in front of the camera for the first time in 5 years, really, besides to do awards. It's very difficult for me. I don't like being in front of it, but also I know that I have to step outside my comfort zone. Something that really stood out to me, and probably one of my favorite lessons that Dr. Wheat had taught over the time at being at Allen Jay, is the compound effect. Small, smart choices over time equal dramatic results. And I've tried to incorporate that into my life. And it's amazing what that will do for you. It can be from study habits to reading every day to exercise, whatever you want to put to it. If you make the smart decision and make small decisions every day, they can really implement your life. Another thing that really stood out is something called about dream makers and dream takers. And you have to have a focus, you have to have action, you have to have a drive, you have to have support, and you also have to know that it's okay to serve others. And along the way, you're going to have some people that are naysayers and distractors, and yourself that may get in the way of your dreams. So don't be a dream taker, be a dream maker. And also, your attitude is going to really determine if you are going to make it or not. This quote about your attitude from John Maxwell really is a great quote, and if you are watching this, I would encourage you to take a picture of it. It says, "Attitude, it is our best friend or our worst enemy." And finally, probably my absolute favorite leadership lesson ever learned here at Allen J. 8th graders, you heard it the other night, and others of you probably have heard it over time, is about the Chinese bamboo and how for years it doesn't grow at all. And the farmer takes great pride in it and takes care of it even when there doesn't seem to be any progress being made. And then after 5 years it breaks through the ground and then it grows so fast. And I think that sometimes that is what we can look at as teachers at Allen J. From 5th grade to 8th grade. Sometimes it takes some scholars longer than others to break through the ground and make it to where we think that they should, because leadership really doesn't happen overnight. Some people are really born with it, others really have to learn it over time. And I believe as a teacher here, and even as myself, I believe that through my 5 years here at Allen J, I have learned leadership qualities just being in Raleigh and teaching them in the classroom that I will take with me the rest of my life. And I believe that's the reason why my future employer really wanted me to come on board, was because they saw those leadership characteristics that I have now that I may not have had 5 years ago when I first walked into the door. So my advice for you guys is this: please, whatever you do, take each day in stride and learn everything you can while you are here at Allen J. And once you leave the doors of Allen J as an 8th grader, take those things you've learned and continue to apply them to life, because you will be a much better person and a much greater leader by doing those things that you learned here. So we're kind of coming to the end of this video, and I want to say that actually after 5 years I am leaving Allen J Prep. And I want to take a moment to say thank you to you scholars for making my experience here wonderful. Also to the staff, you're bar none. We're so thankful for you and what you do for scholars each and every day. And I pray that you will go forward each and every day and continue what Allen J and the mission of this place is. But Dr. Weed,
yeah, well, I'll say this. I mean, even though you leave Allen J, you're always part of the Allen J family. Right. So we have great staff members that come here, that invest part of their life here, but then other opportunities show up. And I tell kids this all the time, tell my own personal children all the time, like, always be looking for the next opportunity, even if you don't think that opportunity is right this very moment, right? So you're always just thinking, who am I connecting with? What doors may open? And I think, things happen for a reason, and people, God even brings people into your life at a certain period when you need them, and you form friendships and relationships, and those things continue on even though you may not be working with someone every day. So, I mean, I know Mr. Myers and I will continue to connect and even work together on some projects, even though he's moving to another opportunity. What is that next opportunity, Mr. Myers?
So I'm actually, my church that I had been working at and attending now we actually met at, they're actually hiring me full-time. We're opening a coffee shop on June 15th. It's got an interesting concept. It has no prices. You pay whatever you'd like. You can pay nothing, or you can pay whatever, $100 or, $1 million or $2. It doesn't matter. It's, we accept anything or nothing. But the opportunity arose, and sometimes you got to be a risk taker. I don't think in life we're called to be comfortable. Sometimes you got to kind of step outside that comfort zone and go and do something different. And I didn't see this coming. I thought I would be in education for 30 years, just like my family or my parents before me. But I'm stepping outside that boat and trying something new.
I think it's cool how, if you've been in Mr. Myers' classroom in the past 3 years, I mean, his classroom is designed as a coffee bar, right? Like, he had that specific piece of furniture, that coffee bar built specifically for his classroom. I remember trying to move that thing in and get it installed, and of course he had coffee bags from all around the world hanging from his ceiling, and that's his passion. That was something he was really interested in. That was one of the things that made him unique, and here's a door opening up where he gets to kind of pursue that while serving others. I think it's a great concept and a great opportunity.
Yeah, so, you know, it's crazy because the whole coffee idea was birthed through teaching a lesson here. But I want to say thank you. I've learned so much from you. Things that nobody else probably ever even picked up on. And I've got to spend some quality time with you over the last, especially over the last year with COVID and how many videos we've shot. I think I looked on our YouTube page and we have like 132 videos or something like that. And a lot of those are just your leadership lessons. But I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity. And, you know, keep making Allen J. Prep the best school.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Best of luck to you.
Appreciate it. As a teacher at Allen J. Prep, I chose to be a leader. The standard is excellence today and tomorrow. I was always disciplined, focused, and on time. I was always organized and respectful and responsible. I am and I was on a mission to elevate myself, my community, and humanity. I will stand firm, and I will continue to stand firm as I model integrity first, service above myself, and excellence in all I do.